Okay, welcome everyone to our Thursday night team call. It's January 19th. Team PFE, Team Epic. Stacy, your Epic is messing me up. Team Epic Journey, because I want to say Team Epic Shakers, and Do It Nation. And we are going to make this as concise as possible. Y'all know I'm long-winded, so keep me on track. I have a couple announcements, and then we are going to get into the meat of the call, and going to talk a little bit about mindset, which I think is the most important thing to talk about on most of these calls, because I think that's the thing that is going to catapult us to the next level no matter what we're trying to do. So let me start by I'm going to pull up some notes here. Hopefully, can you guys see me? And if you're muted, tell me, because I can't see you. Can you
I'm
see
muted.
me? Can you see me?
I can see you.
You can see me still. Okay, that's what I want. All right, so first I want to give a big shout out to Stacy Shiflett, who is currently Success Club 12. She's been crushing it with helping people, being very consistent, very intentional with her time, and it really shows, and I'm really proud of her. And she also happened to earn her biggest paycheck today to date. So I'm really, really pumped for her and her family and just all the hard work that I see her doing, especially behind the scenes. And she is just on it. And so I wanted to give her a shout out on our team call so that those of you who are not on can shout her out when you get a chance. I want to talk about Team Cup real quick. So for those of you who've done Team Cup, you know what it is. For those of you who've not, let me just give you a little bit of information, tell you why it's important, and tell you why you need to be on a Team Cup. So Team Cup is basically Beachbody's contest that they do, a fun way to rally coaches together. It's a way to create momentum in your business. They do a Team Cup at the beginning of the year and towards the last quarter of the year, so that we can get momentum in our business. And the reason why this is good is because we work together as a team. We are always a team, but most days we're all behind the scenes doing what we do, whatever that is that we do every day. We're messaging people, we're posting on social media, we're doing our own journey, we're doing a lot of things on our own. And Team Cup is one of these times where Beachbody kind of gives us an incentive to get together and really push for helping more people. So basically, it's not doing anything different than you're doing now. It's just increasing the amount of what you're doing now and being more focused on it. So Team Cup is something you register for through Beachbody's website that they created. It's teambeachbodycup.com. And you need a team of 5 people. They've actually changed the rules. I know I'm talking fast, but I want to get through this. They've changed the rules. You guys need to look at the FAQs for that. Did I write the FAQ number down? I did not, but I can get that. If you go to faq.beachbody.com and type in Team Cup, it'll come up. But they've changed the rules for who can be on a team together. So now it is a team of 5 still, as it's always been, but it is with no more than 2 lifetime diamonds and 5 people on the team. It has to be your first business center. If you are 2-star diamond and above and you've opened another business center, you have to use your first business center to register. And then I'm not going to get into all the different things about Team Cup. You need to look it up. But the biggest thing is you want to be on a team because you're going to push yourself past what you're doing right now. If you're normally somebody who doesn't invite at all, you'll start inviting. You'll start getting an idea of how to do that. You'll work with other people on the team and get their ideas for what they do. If you're somebody who's always reaching Success Club or Success Club 10, or you're just rocking your business, you're going to 10x that as well. And this is not about, it's a fun, friendly competition, but it's not about earning prizes, although some people are very prize driven. I love the prizes, but it's really more about building your business. It's about getting momentum in your business. And I will tell you, every single time I've done a Team Cup, people who normally aren't very active in their business step up and realize, oh my gosh, I can actually do this. And I didn't think that I could. And there's something about the energy that happens in the Team Cup and happens when you're giving each other ideas and you're checking in with each other and you're just holding each other accountable that helps you to realize some of the gaps that are in your business, some of the things that you need to do to move it forward and align your activities with the vision that you have for your business. So speaking of vision, if you don't have a vision for your business, you need to really take the time to figure out what it is that you want to accomplish from having a Team Beachbody business. If you're in this as a discount coach right now, that's perfectly wonderful. If you are somebody who's been a coach as a VIP member or discount coach, but you want to think about building the business, that's wonderful too. Whatever stage you're in, it's your business. So I don't set goals for you. I don't set benchmarks for you. Beachbody gives you a template of what to do, and they give you tons of resources, and our team has tons of resources. But until you have a vision for what it is that you are trying to accomplish, what it is that you think Beachbody could possibly give you in your life, until you actually know what that is, you're going to stay stagnant, whether that's stagnant in your fitness, whether that's stagnant in your business building, whatever it is. If you are a reader of the Bible, there's a verse in the Bible that says, my people perish for lack of knowledge, and people without vision, a man without vision perishes, right? And the reason is because it doesn't mean you're going to die. It means that you're not going to live, meaning you might exist, but you're not living, you're not thriving, you don't have a life, you're just going through the motions. And there's a big difference between making a living and having a life. And I think that for most of us, I think it's safe to say that whether you're in this just for the fitness aspect or you're in it for the business and the fitness aspect, I think it's safe to say that we are all in here to increase some aspect of our life, to make some aspect of our life better, right? So I know that that's the case for me, and I'm sure it's the case for most of you. So give me 1 second. I'm going to just make sure everybody's muted. There we go. Okay. So that said, make sure that you are really taking the time to craft a vision for your business. Just sit quiet with yourself and figure out what it is that you want out of this, what it is that you got into this for. Write it down, and then from there, set some goals for yourself. Beachbody has benchmarks. Beachbody has a lot of different things you can go after with income, with recognition, with rank. Those things are great, but if they don't tie into what it is that you're trying to accomplish for you personally, and everybody's is personal. If it's not personal, it's not likely that you're actually going to go after it, because it's got to be deep. It's got to be personal to you. If you have that, then you can break it out into goals, and then you know what activities to do every day based on Beachbody's model, based on Beachbody's 4 vital behaviors. You use those to create your goals. You use those as I have my goals, and now I'm going to use Beachbody's, template to carry these things out. It's a vehicle. You are not Beachbody Coach Brown or Beachbody Coach Shiflett. You are you. And so you're your own brand, you're creating your own brand, you're attracting your own tribe of people. Even though we're all on this team, Passion Fire Empire and Team Beachbody and Diesel Nation is our upline, and we're all part of this amazing culture and team, we're still our own brand. We're still our own person. And so we have to figure out what it is that we want, not what somebody else wants and that sounds good. So it's really, really, really important to do that before you can move on and really figure out how to do this business. If you don't know that part, you need to just stop until you figure that out, because I don't mean stop taking action. Don't take me the wrong way. I mean, you need to figure that out so that you're not just spinning your wheels. Okay. So let me go back to my notes, because there's a lot that I want to say, and I want to get everybody on and off. So, okay. Talked about Team Cup. Make sure you get on a team. There was an announcement made in the Beachbody Champions page. If you guys are not in that page yet, you need to request to be part of that group. It's a huge 85,000 person group that Beachbody put together to keep us informed, to give us resources. It's an awesome, awesome page. In there, Carl Deichler made an announcement. I haven't listened to the video, but I read the comment, the caption, that he's putting a special group together to help us with Success Club, so that we're not I'm assuming that this is so that we can look at it in a new way of helping people and have it in a new light and not look at it as Success Club. If you've been in this business any more than, a few weeks, you might know that we want to shift our mindset from looking at people as points. We don't want to look at this as, I got to get my Success Club. I got to get my Success Club. It's about helping people. It's literally a natural flow of what happens from you to them. That's the natural flow of this business. And so you building this business is really just you learning how to get better at that natural flow, how to make it more efficient and how to make it work for you. But that starts with your vision, and that starts with you setting goals based on your vision. So, okay, my topic that I want to cover is about what I'm calling a natural flow. And I'm calling this call, Don't Interrupt Your Own Flow. Okay. So you guys know me, I speak in analogies. That's how my brain works. And so I'm going to use an analogy that I came up with that really made sense to me about this business and about life about physical life. Okay. So when you are consuming calories, right? When you're eating, when you're just walking around, you're a person, you're walking around, and there's really 4 parts to, being a physical being, right? You have to eat to live. And I'm specifically talking about energy in and energy out. You consume food, right? So there's the consumption. You digest it. You exert energy from it. So you use the energy that you put into your body to do things, take action, right? And then you excrete the waste. So you excrete what's not needed. You get rid of that part. So when you consume calories and you digest them and you exert energy and excrete it, that's a natural flow of what happens when you are walking around so that you can survive, right? So that you can do life, so that you can do activities. When your body doesn't move, you interrupt the natural flow of what is supposed to happen. So you've consumed calories and you've digested them, but then when you're not moving around, you're not burning them, you're not exerting energy, you're not taking action, you're not excreting any waste or enough waste, right? So what happens is what? You gain weight, you become lethargic, and it starts to have a domino effect on you, right? We've all experienced this where, we've put on a little bit of weight because maybe we ate too much, or maybe we just, weren't able to work out. Maybe we had an injury, whatever it was, we've interrupted the flow, the natural flow of the way things are supposed to happen. So it causes excess weight, and then it causes lack of motivation, and then it causes lack of action, which can lead to lack of belief, which can lead to lack of self-belief. And so it leads to self-doubt. Self-doubt can cause anxiety, depression, bitterness. All these things start to have a domino effect, right? The same thing happens with our business. It's the same exact 4 parts, right? There's consumption, there's digestion, there's exertion, and excretion. So what I mean is the consumption part. You consume Shakeology. There's the physical consumption. You consume the workouts, meaning you're getting the energy from the workouts. You consume the personal development. You're feeding your mind positive energy. You're feeding your mind positive thoughts. You're, trying to ditch old beliefs and build new ones, all of that stuff, right? That's the consumption part. Then you digest it. You let it go in. You get the nutrients from Shakeology. You get, all of those words of affirmation. You start to let that change you from the inside, right? And then what is supposed to happen next is you're supposed to take action based on all of the information that you learned, based on the energy that you put in your body. You're supposed to, do your workout, share on social media, invite people to that opportunity, all these different things, right? And then the excretion part is you figuring out who you are in this business. So you may not be like Melanie Mitro. You might be more like Christina Delgado. You might not be like Christina, you might be like Amy Silverman, or you are really just you. I'm just using an analogy. So you take people's best practices, and then your excretion is you figuring out how that fits into you, and then everything else you get rid of because it's not for you. It's not you. You are not another coach. You're you, right? So that's the excretion part. So I'm going to use myself as an example of what I did in 2017 and how I am now coming to the point of this realization, and how you can use me as the example of what to do and what not to do. So I don't know how many of you read my post, and in our success group, I said, go comment on my post because I really wanted some interaction on my post. You guys know I'm long-winded, so a lot of times people probably don't read my posts unless they're like me, and they're also long-winded. But I made the mistake of being a consumer and being a digester, but not doing enough, taking enough action. Okay. So I am a type A perfectionist. I'm somebody who feels like I have to have all the information. There's different types of perfectionists. I'm this type, the type who thinks that in order to do, I have to know first, right? And yes, while you have to know some things before you take some action in certain situations, for the most part, especially in this business, you don't really have to know a whole lot. You just have to be excited. You have to be doing your own journey first. You have to be first, right? So the type of perfectionist that I am is also somebody who fears failure. And so if I don't know all the information, then I feel unequipped to share. I feel this hesitation to come out and just, I consumed, now I'm giving out. Energy in, energy out, flow in, flow out. I stopped my natural flow in 2017. I was taking in trainings, and I went to Summit, and I was going to every Super Saturday, and I was reading all these books, and I was listening to all these podcasts, and I was watching all these things on YouTube. And that's wonderful. And it was helping me to start to change on the inside. But I wasn't taking action after that. I took some action. I didn't sit and do nothing, but I didn't take enough action. And so what happens is, just like when you consume too many calories or the wrong type of calories, or, whatever, you're not taking action after you've consumed food, the same thing happens in this business. You start to become less energetic. You start to become less excited. You start to be lethargic, so to speak. You start to become almost overweight, metaphorically. You become overweight. And so I overindulged in information, and I didn't pass that through and give that out. So I didn't do as many invites. I didn't have as many conversations. I didn't just let the natural flow happen. I stopped the flow. And what happens is, the same way that it happens when you put on weight and all of a sudden you're, not the person that you used to be, the self-doubt started to creep in, the self-sabotage started to happen. I started to fall back into my old patterns that I had before Beachbody and before I really, embraced this lifestyle. And so what I learned from 2017 was that there just comes a point when you have a breaking point, right? You have to take action. The thing that I realize is, it's not just about taking action. It's about taking immediate action. Action cures fear, okay? Action will cure that. If you guys haven't read the 5-second rule, you need to read it. It's an amazing book. Mel Robbins wrote the book. This woman is a genius, and she's actually the Success Club prize this month. You get a podcast with her. But Mel Robbins wrote a book on the 5-second rule about how your brain really needs about 5 seconds before it starts to let the self-doubt and creep in. It starts to change its mind, like, maybe I shouldn't, maybe the overthinking happens. And if you're a perfectionist like me, or if you have any bit of that type of personality, sometimes it happens even faster. It's like, I should do that. No, I shouldn't. I'm going to do it. No, I don't know if I should do that. Wait, I'm going to wait till and so all of that stops the natural flow. And what happens is now all of a sudden you are lost, you're overthinking. Now, instead of just sharing who you are and what you're doing, now you fall into this category of like, I have to create what I think would be motivational. I have to create what I think would inspire. Instead of just being who you are and letting it naturally and organically flow, now all of a sudden you're creating content and you're coming up with something to say. When that happened to me, that's when the business started to become a problem for me. Not a problem like I don't want to do the business, a problem like, what is it that I'm doing? I started losing my why. I started losing my vision. I started forgetting what I was doing, why I was doing it. And I started to struggle with the normal, natural, amazing things about this business, right? It just started to become a struggle for me. So if you've ever met a former college athlete who has put on a lot of weight, I don't know if you've ever met somebody who's like that, but I have a couple friends who, they used to play soccer, and exercise was just a natural part of their life. And then all of a sudden they were done with college and they stopped playing, and the flow got interrupted. And instead of replacing what they were doing with something new, so now they don't play, college sports anymore. So now they don't have that built into their day, right? So instead of getting a new exercise routine or finding some way to burn those calories and have that energy flowing and doing life that way, the flow stopped. And so they put on weight. It started to happen, creeped up. And now all of a sudden, 5-10 years later, they're like, I don't even recognize myself. I used to be fill in the blank, right? We've all been there, whether you were an athlete or not. We've all changed where we're like, how did this happen? I used to be fit. I used to be excited. I used to be energetic. I used to be hot. I used to be whatever it is. We've all experienced that. And so part of it is because you've interrupted the natural flow. And the other part is you have to take immediate action. So what I've learned from my 2017 is that my personality, this might not be, you might have a better threshold than I do. But for my personality and my overthinking nature and my perfectionism and all these things that I'm still working through, if I don't take immediate action and if I allow the flow, the natural flow of this business to be interrupted, I will stay stagnant. I will stay stuck. I will become unmotivated. I will disengage. I will become overwhelmed. And then I will feel lost and not know what it is that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. When that never, in a business this simple, it's not easy, but it's simple. That never needs to happen. That never needs to happen. So if you found yourself in that situation, or if you feel like you're there now, or you feel like you're a new coach and you're already there, whatever it is, if you experience that at any point in time, or if you have, you have to stop and just go back to the basics of this business. The basics of this business are that you drink Shakeology, you read personal development, you pick a program, and you do it from beginning to end. So I'm so super thankful that the 80-day obsession came out, because I'm super pumped about it. Like, there was other programs that came out that I was really excited about, but I didn't commit. Like I committed, but then I still gave myself excuses to like bow out. I was like, Michael and I are going to New York. Like, I'm going to drink wine. Like, that was just me, but that was happening over and over and over again, to the point where I started and stopped so much that I was like, not even motivated to start a program, because in my mind I had convinced myself, well, I'm just going to quit. I went all the way back to who I was before I started this coach lifestyle, right? I went back to being that person who starts and stops and starts and stops. And although that will always maybe be a tendency of mine, a temptation of mine, I really got away from that being a Beachbody coach. I really got into this lifestyle and community where I just was like, not that I was ever perfect, because I never was and I never will be, but I was definitely more consistent than I ever was without being a coach. And all of a sudden last year, it just kind of all came to a head where I was just like, I'm so unmotivated and I don't know, and then I would have pockets of really big excitement and I'd be like, yes, it's back. I'm back. I'm back. And then it would be like, Michael and I are going on a date night and I'm going to have 3 glasses of wine. Like, wine might not be your thing. I'm just using that as my example because that's one of my things. So all I'm saying is I realize that it's a simple, natural flow. And when you feel stuck, when you feel like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what's going on, you just have to do a gut check and say, okay, are the fundamentals happening? Are they really happening? Am I actually drinking Shakeology every day? Am I actually committing to a program? Am I taking care of me? That was the biggest thing for me. It's been a struggle my whole life. I've gone to counseling over it, where I tend to put, and it's also a mother's nature too. I mean, you have kids, you have to put them first in many situations. So I just started falling back into old patterns of like, everybody else matters but me. I have to do everybody else, but I don't have time for me. I have to make time for everybody else, but I come last. And it got to the point where I was like, I couldn't take it anymore. I could not. You hear it all the time, but cliches are cliches for a reason. You can't pour water out of an empty cup. You cannot. And I got to the point where I was like, dude, I don't have anything left. Like, I literally don't have anything left. And when I get like that, it is a very dangerous place for a person like me with my habits and my tendencies to be. It is not a healthy place for me to be, because what I do is I retreat and I lean on unhealthy things, wine, retreating, not being as social, I stopped going to church as much. I mean, there's so many little things that creep up that all of a sudden are just like, who am I? What happened? So I want to encourage you to ask yourself, where you are in your business. Do you have a vision for your business? You have to start with that. And if you do, did you write it down? You have to write it down. And then from there, set some goals for yourself. They don't have to be crazy, or they can be crazy, whatever motivates you. Okay, because motivation is from within. It's not from me. It's not from your leader. It's from within. And then take that and say, okay, am I enjoying this business? Am I doing the vital behaviors? Am I doing the things that are the actions I'm taking lining up with my vision and my goals? And if so, if you're feeling stuck, is it just that you haven't given it enough time? It hasn't been long enough? Figure that out. But most times when you're having a sticking point, it's because something interrupted the natural flow of this business. The business is very simple. And I was talking to Michelle Perkins earlier on the phone today, and I'll tell you, both of us have kind of had, a sticking point in our businesses where we're just like, what's going on? I don't want to lose my my motivation. And what happened was we interrupted the flow. You have to buy into what we're doing, meaning you have to believe in it. If you don't, then you need to start there. If you need to not try to build a team and be doing all this and all that, you need to start with you and your journey and your lifestyle and building a foundation for yourself so that you have a platform to share with people. You don't have to be in shape. You don't have to be there. I put out a post today inviting people to a new thing that I decided I'm doing. I decided it today, that I want to give people a long-term solution. I want to give people, I'm calling it my first 100 days. And I'm giving them a platform. I'm only on day 4 of 80-day obsession. I don't have, not that they have to do 80-day obsession, but I'm only on day 4 of me starting over and truly committing. And I will tell you, I'm afraid of myself sometimes. I'm like, is this going to be another start stop? I don't think it's going to be. I really believe in myself right now. I believe that I've had enough of myself, enough of the start stop, that I'm done. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm not saying it hasn't already been challenging. It's only day 4, but I didn't wait until day 80 to start inviting people to do something. You don't have to wait for that. You can, but what I'm saying is make sure that you always come first so that you have something to give them. You have something. If you're a day ahead of them, you're a day further along than they are, if that makes sense. So I want to open it up for any comments, but this was really heavy on me. today. And I just really, like I said, my brain works in analogies, and I really wanted to share that with you guys because it makes total sense to me that once you stop the flow, you just have to say, okay, what happened? I consumed and I digested, but did I exert energy? Did I burn the calories? Like, what happened to me? Where did I go? What happened? And usually it's very simple to pinpoint. Oh, okay. I stopped taking care of myself. I kept trying to like manage everybody else's problems. And then all of a sudden it was like, what happened? Like, now I have an extra 15, almost 20 pounds. I was on a roll, and now all of a sudden I'm back to, I didn't gain all my weight back, but I gained some of it back. I ain't got time for that. I do not have time for that. I'm trying to move forward, not backwards. And I'm not saying it's going to be a constant steady flow, but I'm trying to move forward. I want to create freedom for my family. I want to create freedom for myself. I don't want to have all the self-doubt. I want to have my confidence. I'm not going to have that putting myself on the back burner and interrupting the flow of how things are supposed to go. So my encouragement to you is, when you learn something, share it right away. It doesn't have to be on social media. Share it with somebody. Share it in your team page. Share it with the one and only coach you've sponsored so far. Share it with whoever, but take immediate action. Don't let it sit and simmer, because that's how it's just going to stay, and you're not going to really do anything with it. And you become overweight. You become overweight with information the same way that you do when you consume calories and don't do anything with them. It's the same exact thing. So anyways, I hope that makes sense. I'm going to open it up and unmute everybody if y'all want to comment. And if not, cool. I know it's late, and I know some of us are early risers for this 80-day obsession. So
I'll add in.
Okay.
So Dimitri and I talked today, and the real, for me, I can speak for myself. I lost some joy in my business and in my journey and in my passion. And going back to the basics, what did we do in the beginning of our businesses? So if you're new in your business, something you can focus on or take from us is, just sharing your journey, sharing what you're doing. So instead of, like Dimitri is saying, focusing on all business activities, let it happen organically sometimes. Really put out what you're doing, share what you're doing, because that's what people want to follow. They don't want that sales pitch, like buy my stuff, right? They want that natural connection with you, and they want to know what you're doing. So that's what I've gone back to with 80-day obsession, which I absolutely love. So I hope you guys are all doing it. If not, plan to do it, because it's amazing, and I haven't been this excited about a program in a very long time. But I'm just going back to the basics and sharing what I'm doing. This is what I did today, and here's a move I did today. So just sharing that kind of stuff, that gets people, they get their interest peaked. So they may not reach out to you right away, but they're starting to watch you. They're starting to follow you. So.
Yep. And I think, if you're Stacy's coach, if Stacy is your upline coach, I think Stacy's really good at that part. I think she's good at keeping it simple, stick to the basics and share your journey. It's really important. A lot of times, I know for me, I glaze over a lot of my journey because I'm like, oh, that part's not important. That part's not important. And it's very tempting to share, to all of a sudden become a Beachbody coach and like share all the healthy stuff. And for somebody like me, I was already a health and fitness person before Beachbody. So part of that is a natural thing for me to share, but that's not the only thing that I do in my life. I have a family, I have a husband, I have a life. And so sharing those little things that seem insignificant are really what help people connect to you and not just let you be lost in a sea of Beachbody coaches. Because there's 450,000 Beachbody coaches, okay? There's a Beachbody coach, a Beachbody coach, a Beachbody coach. That's not who you are. You're you, and Beachbody is your vehicle and your platform and your tool to help people based on your personal experiences, your life, your connections, your, hot mess, whatever your hot mess is, because let me tell you, everyone has a hot mess going on right now. I don't care who you are. Whatever that is and whatever that looks like, that's what people want to know about. It's not about airing your dirty laundry and being like, oh my God, me and my husband got in a fight and I hate him, he's horrible. That's not what I mean. I mean who you are in the pockets of your day when you're not Beachbody Coach Brown or whatever, who you are. And Beachbody should just be kind of an extension of that. It shouldn't change any of that. It shouldn't be now I'm Beachbody, so now I do everything perfectly and I never skip a meal and I never skip a workout. That's BS. That's not going to happen.
Oh.
It should help you to become better for sure, but it's not like suddenly, those people who go vegan and now all of a sudden they want everybody to be a vegan. You're like, hold up now. You just spent the last 6 months eating 17 pounds of meat I'm not trying to hear it. Like, I'm glad you had an epiphany, but no.
Or the smokers have become
like this crazy person.
I love that one.
Yeah.
So I want to say really quickly that I have 3 brand new coaches on this call right here. And Mandy is our curious, yet we have to have her as a coach. So
I love it.
Yes. So I'm very proud. And Mandy went to her own Super Saturday by herself and won Energize.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So yes. And I think too, I just want to reiterate and piggyback to being a Beachbody coach and letting people know is totally fine as long as you're balancing out the two. Like if I did a post and I just said all Beachbodies, but I mingled it in with how I struggled with my dad's passing, but it made me better because of what it's done. Like, yeah, you can marry them that way so it doesn't look like you're screaming by Shakeology, but you're screaming, you can change your life. That's what you want to scream. And you might even have a really crappy day, but you share it. Put it this way, like Dimitri said really quickly, because I know we have a minute and 30 seconds left. When you do a daily diary entry into your heart and into your life and just hit post, that's what sells. If that's what you don't even want to use the word, that's what draws people in and go, but I want that too. So think about when you signed up as a coach and what drew you in. What were those reasons? What were you watching? Who were you stalking? Who did you go to every day and look at their pages? What were those reasons? Do those reasons, but in your own way.
And I have to say this because this is really important, because this was one thing I struggled with. Sometimes people have like Stacy has a really
you got 1 minute.
I know. Stacy has a past where, she went through a lot. Her dad's passing. She has a lot of things happen. Your story doesn't have to be deep, dark, sad. You don't have to compare. Don't compare your story to anybody else's. It just needs to be yours.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, hers is so compelling and all I did was get over a little bit of binge eating. No, it's your story. Whatever your story is, that's what people want to hear. It doesn't matter what somebody else's story is. So don't ever compare the two and think you don't have anything to share. Because I know I did that, and that was a huge mistake until I realized, wait a minute, people don't care about that. They care about what I have to say. Yeah. My people care about what I have to say. So, all right, I'm going to end the call. Thank you for getting on. Great job, brand new coaches, for getting on. Welcome to the team.
Yay.
And I'll post the replay in all of the team pages, and we will see you on the next call.